good morning to you, and many thanks for joining us this morning on Open Parliament, the midweek edition, live on the frequency. My name is Mr. C, the 31st day in the month of July 2024, definitely the last day of the month. You know how we come through on the program. Big stories is what we keep tabs right here, and we bring you. We got to do an in-house analysis of those and let you react to those stories. And yes, some of the stories we have been tracking at the national, well, despite moves made by the federal government to stave off the hunger protest built for Thursday, August 1 to 10th of August, organizers are hell-bent on going ahead with the protest. This is as the governor of Abia State, Dr. Alex Oti, has urged Abia youths to show restraint and communicate their demands to their leaders. And staying with Abia, where the governor, Alex Oti, has disclosed that the reason he hasn't been operating from the government house is due to the dilapidated condition of the buildings. The governor added that he will demolish the current structures and rebuild a befitting government house in Umuahia. Well, our guest to talk on this and more is the Chairman, Governing Council, Institute for Security and Safety, Nnamdi Azikiwe University, a Fellow of Ethical Leadership from the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, a recipient of Zix Award on Innovation and Creativity, a pioneer inductee, National Integrity Hall of Fame, a former Argonne Secretary General, a fellow of Chartered Institute of Forensics and Fraud Investigators of Nigeria, Interpol Systems Consultant and Security Expert, Sir Chikwe Udensi. Good morning, sir. Welcome to Open Parliament.
Thank you, Mr. C. Thanks for having me.
Well, as always, delighted to have you this beautiful Wednesday morning. Well, last week when we had you on the program, you were speaking to us from faraway Zurich in Switzerland. That's the capital of Switzerland, where you took part in a conference of the International Security Association, the ISA. Well, you did disclose to us that you were contesting for the position of vice president. We have reports that shows that you eventually were elected the vice president of the revered organization. Big congratulations to you, sir. Very well deserved.
Thank you very much. I was surprised that I was able to win.
You shouldn't be.
So sometimes most failures are from fear. When I walked into the hall, you see that it's all white people filling the whole place. There were few blacks, and you see that a black man is going to contest against white men, and even Indian, a German and an Indian. I contested against them. But this is a country where value is put against sentiments. We had some serious speeches. In fact, the man from Germany, he spoke first. But when I spoke, it was quite interesting. I said that security is not what you say. Security is what you do. That was a very clinking one to them. I didn't even know how that one came into my mouth. But I said, eventually, to the glory of God, I'm the vice president of the International Security Association, the umbrella body of all security arrangements in the world. I feel so happy about it. I've also gotten congratulatory messages. Unfortunately, I have not gotten anyone from Love FM.
Oh, well, I just said that on behalf of the station, sir.
Chikwe Udensi, my very good friend, former vice president, has congratulated me. The presidency, I was surprised. The presidency congratulated me when the head of the SVB of Interpol informed the National Security Advisor of what happened. And also, to my delight, His Excellency, the Governor of Abia State, my good brother, Alex Oti, have sent me a congratulatory message. And I'm happy that I'm back home and we are looking forward to working in the secretariat of the association.
Oh, congratulations yet again. Yet another feather added to your cap.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's get to Nigeria now, because quite a number of issues. You left. I'm sure you've come back to meet some of them. The buzz about the end bad governance protest slated for tomorrow, down through 10th of August this year, is still on, and this despite efforts by the federal government to stave off the protest. The organizers insisting that they will go ahead, and indeed we will be having that protest commence from tomorrow. The apprehensions that the protest might be hijacked by perpetrators of violence, and that it might turn violent indeed. It's a long time coming, the protest, isn't it? The hardship in the land for a lot of Nigerians and an average Nigerian, it's becoming unbearable.
Extremely unbearable, Mr. C, if you ask me. Ordinarily, one would not suggest that we must go to revolt, we must go on strike, we must go on protest to have the basic things we require in this country. It is unfortunate. If you look at the 12-point demand by the agitators, it is within the ambit of what the government ought to provide for the people. Sometimes, if you ask me, Mr. Singh, I feel extremely frustrated, very frustrated. That is why, if you remember, sometimes I have advocated for a very serious shock therapy in society. Because unfortunately, if there is no shock therapy, no change can happen. It took a very strong shock therapy in America by a man called J. Edgar Hoover, if you remember about him, the head of the FBI. It took his shock therapy in America to correct most of the problems we have in the 50s and the 60s in America, when the Campinos, the Costolians took over America, and it was a problem. Crime, corruption was everything in America. But today, look at America. Look at also our Singapore. Just 20 years ago, Singapore was a third world country. And then Lee Kuan Yew came over. Look at what Lee Kuan Yew did, Mr. C. And then even the Philippines, the other day, what is his name again? Duterte Rodrigo, if you remember. The Philippines was embodied with corruption, embodied with crime, drug trafficking. Look at what Philippines is today. Look at the 12-point agenda they're asking for. Though some of them I don't openly agree with, but some of them are agreeable. First of all, they're asking for a reactivation of our refineries. What is wrong with that, Mr. C? What is wrong in reactivating 4 big refineries we have in the country? We produce, we get the oil from here, send it abroad to be refined, and brought back to us when our refineries are here. And let me also commend the government for now accepting to supply Dangote petroleum products. You know, they have just agreed on that.
Oh yes, maybe some of the results of the talked about protests.
Yes, absolutely. It is because of these very serious complaints by the people. Today, Dangote is to make petroleum products and also pay in Naira. Look at other ones they're talking about. That they should stop insecurity and make sure they punish the perpetrators of insecurity. That is what it ought to be. They are asking about the reduction of school fees. If you ask me, they're asking for free education instead of reduction of school fees. As most countries of the world, where the education is not free, you have guaranteed student loan. Guaranteed. Every student has the guarantee. They are talking about reducing medical bills. We should be talking about free hospital medical treatment for every citizen. I was in Sweden I saw how peaceful their system works. No citizen pays 1 penny for medical treatment. No citizen pays 1 penny, I'm sorry. They're talking about reduction of cost of nomination forms for elections, especially presidential and governorship, so that the youth and those poor citizens have capacity to handle them. They're talking about the implementation of the 2014 confab agreement, if you remember. That's one of the things they were asking for. And they are also insisting that public office holders, their children should go to school in public schools. Especially when I was going to school, we knew about government colleges, public schools. Government college Owerri, government college Umuahia, Calabar, Kaduna. These were where people were wanting to go to, public schools. Even here at the tertiary level, University of Nigeria, Soka, the Ibadan, University of Lagos, Ahmadu Bello University, these were the schools that were top of the line, and they were public schools. Today, go and see how the public schools look like. And the poor masses can no more afford public schools. And the bills and fees for private schools are no more affordable. But there are a few areas I don't agree with them. One of the areas they talked about reduction in fuel price. Right now, we have removed the subsidy. We have allowed the forces of push and pull to determine what happens. If you are asking that we should go back to fuel for 200 naira and then diesel for 400 according to the recommendation, what we are therefore saying is that if we are going to produce fuel and diesel at a higher price and then sell at a lower price, what it simply means is that we are bringing back the subsidy.
But shouldn't it be? I mean, there are a lot of persons who are protesting, and in fact, a lot of Nigerians, if you ask now, would say, hey, yes, maybe from the get-go we felt this subsidy removal would be something that would be beneficial to Nigerians, but so far, it's rather brought us pain. Maybe we should reverse that decision.
But you see, if you reverse the decision, you create more problem. The problems you are going to create is that it becomes a scandal again. It becomes a fraud. What we are asking is that let there be a livable wage. Look at what National Assembly members are earning. The basic salary a month. Let me give you a rundown. I remember the figures very clearly. I ran mad when I went for verification, and I found out that this is exactly what it is. The basic salary of a National Assembly member is 2.5 billion naira a month. There is a furniture allowance for 7.4 million monthly. Do you change furniture every month? 7.4 million naira monthly to a National Assembly member. There is a newspaper allowance. Do you see the newspapers? It's 1.2 million naira a month. There's a wardrobe allowance of 621 million naira a month. There is the one they call accommodation allowance, which they pay monthly, 4.9 million monthly accommodation allowance. They have an entertainment allowance, 828,000. They also have, this one was so disturbing. They have what they call vehicle allowance every month, 9.9 million, almost 10 million naira every month. Every month. I'm not talking about once a year, every month. And then to add salt to injury, they stopped the one that had hardship allowance. Hardship allowance, 1.2 million. Hardship allowance. They talk about vehicle maintenance allowance too, 1.1 billion. I have these records. I investigated myself, and I was very, very sad. If this country is going to pay workers in public office this kind of money, then they should be able to pay other people some reasonable wages and some remuneration for them to afford the petroleum products, for them to afford transportation, afford healthcare, and also afford to educate their children. Please understand where I'm coming from. Look at what record we have from the presidency. The first quarter of this year, 3 months only, 8.6 billion was spent on travels. For the presidency, he wrote a very strong letter Mr. President, this is not good. This is horrible. And also look at the governors too. The 20 governors, out of the 36 governors, 20 of them spent almost 1 trillion in first quarter, 3 months, on refreshment and entertainment. Why can't we pay decent salary? Why can't we pay decent wage? Look at the expenditures at those levels. Look at their convoys. One, let us not even go to president and governor. Look at those who are heads of parastatals in Abuja. One convoy going to see about 12, 13 vehicles. SUVs. Taken as a parastatal. I saw the other day, the chief of army staff, when he was passing, I took pictures. I forwarded these pictures to one of my generals. I said, this is not good. Inside Abuja, the chief of army staff has over 20 vehicles following him. These are the expenditures, these are the wastages that we ought to stop. And what will require somebody who must come in and change this. I'm not talking about violent change, Mr. C. I'm talking about peaceful change. Most of the changes that I've endured are peaceful. And we have people who have the capacity to conduct these changes. If we don't conduct these changes, how do we move forward? We need to change them. But I'm asking my people though, Igbos, I'm asking them, please do not go to protests. I have asked those of them who have called me and requested my opinion about the protests. Yes, there's a need to protest, but the Igbos, we are endangered people. Let us not go to protest. We did not protest several times when so many things happened against us. The railway that are all over the country, they are strong in Igbo land. When they want to do ours, they say it's the standard gauge. When they are giving others the very modern gauges. Look at the release of all freedom fighters in the country. No Igbo man who is also a freedom fighter is being held. Let us not go and engage ourselves in unnecessary problems. They rigged the election against Igbo man. We did not protest. So I look at they allocated 7 states to every region, and some regions 6 states. Igbo state 5. Igbo region only 5 states. Look at the employment in federal ministries. Look at the employment in agencies and departments of government. We have been trivialized. Look at the recent coastal roads, 15 trillion by federal government. Coastal roads, there's none that passes an Igbo land. Look at the appointment of their children as judges. Did you see anyone from Igbo land? We're not going to go and fight for nothing that does not concern us. We should not do that, because once it happens, we are the first people they are going to attack. The Igbos are those who have the shops. The Igbos are those who have the businesses. It is the businesses that will break down. So I do not agree that we're going to go into this idea of going to fight. No. Or going to cause mayhem. No. Protests are very important, but you know that hoodlums will always take over protests.
So effectively, you would rather the protest goes ahead, but not in the southeast, is it?
Well, at the first instance, I would prefer the protests to go ahead in a different form. Fortunately, I must tell you, without any equivocation, as an honest man, though I'm not in APC, this government is a listening government. This government has desire for changes. And I have seen these changes. Unfortunately, some of the changes are causing us problems. But they are good changes. These are changes that must have to be properly done for the people to benefit from them. I also agree that if it involves protests, if protests are going to be very peaceful, let us be part of it. To the extent to which people should be careful. We own 90% of the businesses. only 95% of shops, our names are not good in the ears. We are in danger spaces. We don't occupy spaces in the police command position. We don't occupy spaces in the army command position. The cases that people are going to continue, we don't occupy spaces there. In the courts, we don't have enough judges. The Igbos are the ones that will feel the pain, that will cause more trouble in this protest. And moreover, we are not enjoying anything in government. Like those who are suffering and enjoying the government before this time, let them go and do their protests. We don't really have protests in Southeast. We have enough headache already.
Oh well, 24 minutes gone past 9. Open Parliament. It is. Don't forget, you can listen to this program on ABN radio and TV. Well, the governor of Abia State, away from the protest, on Saturday explained why he has not been operating from the government house in Umuahia, but from his private residence in Mvosi in Isalanga South local government area. He stated this in Arochukwu local government area headquarters while commissioning project executed by the mayor of Arochukwu local government area. In his words, he said today, quote, I am not operating for the government house in Umuahia because there is no government house. Everywhere is dilapidated and decayed. The option would have been to use the money I used to pay pensioners and to begin to retrofit the government house. But I felt that we could operate from anywhere while doing the most important things first. And I am proud to report that before the end of this year, we are going to break down those dilapidated buildings and put up structures that are befitting for enlightened people like the Abia people. Can you speak to this, sir?
Absolutely. First of all, let me commend the chairman of my local government. They call the mayors. You know, it will be irresponsible of me to call anybody a mayor because it is illegal. And as a law enforcement operative, I cannot call anybody the name that he doesn't deserve. They are local government chairman, and we should call them local government chairman. In fact, they're not even chairman, they are transitional chairman. But let me commend him. He has done a great job in Arashiki. I was able to see what he has done, and I got a first-hand report of what he has done in Arashiki. It is very, very commendable. I hope other local government chairmen will emulate him and put those infrastructures and refurbish the existing ones. Because what we used to have has been very, very pathetic. So I commend my chairman, a very ebullient young man, very, very competent young man. I have known him personally over the years. So what the governor said, you cannot fault that argument. He's talked about prioritization, and they had to prioritize his activity. They want to identify where there are immediate needs, and then also identify those immediate needs and treat them first. He talked about payment of salaries, which we are told right now is more regular than it used to be over the years. We also talked about, he talked about payment of pensioners. I hope he will do that and do it effectively because for now, two pensioners are receiving to a large extent, they are regulars, but the backlog is yet to be looked into very effectively by the government. However, it is important to note that as much as one will recognize the need for him to prioritize, one is still very concerned about the amount of money that is being used to run his office from his private home. That amount, I have advised before, to a large extent, is a little bit too much. We should find a way to make sure that we are a little bit prudent with the use of government funds, especially when we have enormous needs everywhere. So while I commend the government for prioritizing his expenditures, let me also insistently request him to please cut down on the cost of running his office from his personal house.
Are you there, sir?
Can you still hear me? I've been talking, right? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah. So that is the area to which I have a problem with, the area of the cost of running his personal home, and also the areas I saw about entertainments, refreshments. Those ones, we should pay less attention to them, and also re-emphasize the area of infrastructure development, for which he's doing a good job at right now.
Okay. Well, still about the help to pull down the structures. What would you say before we go for a break about anyone who has got an argument that, hey, maybe that shouldn't be priority at this point in time? Yes, does Abia need a befitting government house? An average Abian would say yes. But at this point in time where the issue is about hunger, I mean, we're having citizens, youths of this country talk about going to protest and not for anything beyond hunger. Is that something the government should prioritize now, saying, hey, we're going to get it sorted out before the end of the year, you think?
Well, if you consider how much that has been spent already in running government house from his house, you wonder how much it would have been okay to refurbish the government house, even to build a new one. And also, I'm a little bit concerned about the idea of pulling down. I saw on the social media the arguments that were going back and forth about the pulling down of some of the structures in the Abian Governor's Lodge in Abuja. So, because my friend owns a property directly opposite it, I was in my first office and I looked through the window to see exactly what was going on. And because I know the Abian Lodge very well, I have, during the tenure of Ojus Okalo, I've had the opportunity of having meetings there severally with Ojus Okalo. And also, I've also spent a night, I've slept there in the Governor's Lodge with my very good friend and brother, may he so rest in peace, Dr. Sam Eke, may he so rest in peace. We spent time there, so I understand the place very well. I know the structure very, very well. The structure, I wouldn't say it is substandard, if you ask me. Maybe over these years, it has gone down. But when I was there, it was not substandard. Even the guest area, where I saw also have been pulled down, the inside, if I remember very well, they are not substandard. I'm a builder, and I like good things. Even the ones I build for myself, they are not below average. So what I saw there is not something that ought to be necessarily pulled down, except maybe if over time it has gone to a level that requires pulling down. But let me also draw your attention to something that is happening in the country we need to change. The idea of condemning our own things, it is not very good. And sometimes you see we cut very beautiful trees that ought to be nurtured, trees that have been there over the years. People take pride in having those trees there. People are cutting them down now with reckless abandon. You cannot cut any tree down in a civilized climate without authorization. But people now cut trees anyhow. Even the ones that are in public spaces that ought to be nurtured, they are not done that way. They are cut down, which is not good. I recall also going to buy a property with my friend in Brussels, and he was saying that he was going to renovate the property. I said, yes, you can renovate the inside, but you cannot touch the outside. These properties that were built...
His personal property?
His personal property, yes. You cannot. There are specific properties and specific areas they want to maintain that tradition. They want to maintain that building culture. Culture and tradition is not just in the way you dress. It's in the way you live too. Your ancient homes, your ancient roads. You look at England, when they wanted to change the public phones. You see those British Telecom public phones. That was what Britain was known for. And I heard the argument. People said, yes, let us modernize the communication inside. But the outside is our symbol. It is a symbol of British Telecom, which the world loves and admires. So let us stop some of these attitudes of always wanting to destroy everything.
Right.
I remember some years ago when, if I remember his name again, the governor of Edo State, Oshomole. Oshomole, if he comes to schools, when he was renovating his schools, if there are about 5 or 6 blocks, he will take 5 blocks to renovate, and he will leave 1 so that you can see where you are coming from. This is what it used to be. Though we can maintain them, but we can't completely change everything about it. Let us have the tendency and also the drive to make sure that we maintain some of our culture, especially when it comes to buildings and the way we dress.
Open Parliament Midweek Edition, Interpol Systems Consultant and Security Expert Chikwe Udensi is a guest. My name is Mr. C. We'll go for a break now. When we return, we'll talk more. Stay with us. Ethnocentric Limited, Yana Mastercard Foundation, Nezukono, Ibido Meme, Fashion Future, Ngegazumo Korobia, no Mabobia Rupuise, Nebara Firina Sato, no Iriatonise, Aila Padua, Ulon Rupuano, Nimaba, Nekenemeputu, Akuku, Nawapo Tichiche, Piamuto Tesi Mue, Akuku, Papo Tichiche, Lefu, Obro Libo Yarakoro, Lia Basreji, Igamuto Tesi, Pidoma, Watapatomacazmanga, 11, Inikileche, Ghana, www.fashionfutureprogram.org, Bomo Positranyo Zilla, WhatsApp la 0707-930-5887, Mopogale Bendebanya Haidila, number 18 Industry Road, Naku Nigerian Brewery Aba, Wanegi Woku, La Wanegi Wan, Lono Blima, Debanya Hadimaka Meme, Fashion Future, Iwu Suruwayao. My brother, sorry for your loss. We say make we can't deal with you for inside this hard time. We say you don't the hold body well.
My guys, them. Now let's try pass. This life, anything fits up. Now why we need correct partner to help us gather body when yama things happen.
Hey, yeah, you go thank madam for also,
Well, madam play a part. When a Salam I dey talk, Salam na him do am.
Salam, what's about who is Salam? Salam Nigeria, now the catcher partner we go help you face life plenty wahala. If Salam Nigeria dey by your side, you feel place focus for wetin truly matter to you when you want. For your begin education plans, savings, house, or even motor insurance, choose Sanlam Nigeria anytime. Make you visit www.sanlam.com.ng to start. Sanlam, live with confidence.
It's quality news, it's good music, it's reliable information. It's about the family. That's the power. Family Law FM, the Niger station.
Thanks for staying tuned. It's the midweek edition of Open Parliament, live on the frequency. Interpol Systems Consultant and Security Expert, Chikwe Udensi, our guest. My name is Mr. C. Don't forget ABN Radio and TV. You can listen to this program live right there. We're going to the phone line shortly, but stay with Arochukwu local government area, where the governor made a proposal about demolishing structures, government house for being dilapidated and getting a befitting government house for the state. Finally, we had the coronation ceremony of the paramount ruler of Arochukwu Kingdom, this year the 9th, His Royal Majesty Dr. Eberechukwu Kanwoji. This happened on Saturday, and this following the back and forth that greeted his emergence with yet another person, Mazi Kanwide, still laying claims to the position, and this after insisting that what led to his emergence followed customs and traditions. But nonetheless, Pastor Eberechukwu, Dr. Eberechukwu Kanwoji was coronated on Saturday after being given a certificate and staff of office sometime last year by the government. You've been in the thick of this. What do you make of this finally?
Yes, I'm in the thick of it to the extent that I was appointed by the governor to look into the problem on the 22nd of December last year, and to make sure that there was no problem. But unfortunately, the problem escalated, exasperated. We had some people who believe that whatever they say is what must happen in the society or in the culture. And there are some people who believe that it mustn't be that way. So what we have right now, we have two coronations. We had one coronation on the 28th of December last year, Godwin Kanu Day. We also have the coronation, the one you just mentioned, that happened on the 27th of July, Chikwe Udensi. These two coronations signaled the consistent problem we have in my community. We have two traditional rulers, invariably, one from the government, which is Chikwe Udensi, and the other one from the community, some members of the community, which is Godwin Ide. But because of my intervening, in the course of my trying to find a solution to the problem, I did notice, I did observe, I did find out that both of them, they have problems with the processes that brought them. Those two processes that brought them, they are a little bit alien to our culture and tradition. Yeah, we believe very strongly that culture and tradition should be dynamic. Things should change. But if you want to change it, the people should change it. You don't just have some 7 people who arrogate to themselves the authority of the community and say they have changed it. It doesn't work that way. That is the case of Chikwe Udensi, the coronated on the 27th. Some 7 people who do not have the authority of the people, who do not have the cultural backing. This is not the way and the process that will bring out our Eze. That has a fault there. But because they are very close to government, because they are very close to the governor, they fed the governor probably with a diet of lies and made the governor believe that this is the right man. I have had the privilege to meet Chikwe Udensi 3 times, and I have enormous respect for him. If you ask me, he's a very good, candidate for the SDR of Chikwe. He represents things that is required today. He represents humility. He came to my hotel room with his beloved wife, and we had dinner together and discussed. But the process that produced him is very alien to us. It's not our culture. The process that produced him is totally alien to our culture. That is where the problem lies. And then the process that produced E.D., there were some hiccups with that process. One can say that, yes, it may have come from what it ought to be, but there are still hiccups. That was why, in our recommendation, we said that both of them should go back to their family and let their family, whose duty it is to elect or select, those members of the family, they are the ones to select or elect the king or the president. But in this instance, this did not happen. Some 7 people, 7 musketeers from nowhere, no authority of the people, no authority of the culture, but because of their closeness to government, chose to take laws into their hands. But you see, this is what we keep talking about. If you remember my speech, when it has to do with abuse of power, the danger there. The history has told us that it is very dangerous. It is extremely dangerous. If you are in authority, you should be very humble. If you do not humble yourself and you want to use power to the extent to which you oppress others, don't forget that you will leave office one day. If you leave office, can that power you have exhibited, can it be sustained? Do you know who is going to take over the next minute? That is the danger. Don't forget, Mr. C, not too long ago we had Chikwe Udensi. I was in school then. When Chikwe Udensi was the president, one young man called Umar Biko used the power of the president so much that eventually when Chikwe Udensi was removed as president, he ran away, ran out of the country. And you saw how he ended. His eyes were even plucked out when he was being bundled back to Nigeria. I also look at when IBB took over. You saw what Akilu did. Now IBB is no more there. Where is Akilu? When General Abacha was in charge, Senator Mustafa was the be-all and end-all. Where is he today? Look at even recent time, our Jonathan was the president, and our sister, Desiane Madeke, she was the be-all and end-all. The power rested on her hands. Today, she has run away to England and she's even begging to come back to her country. It's a power, it's transient. Those who hold should be very careful. What I have seen now in Arujugu is like what happened also with my very good friend, the former governor of Imo State, Mr. Okorocha. We had something like this that happened. And I appealed to the governor then, please make this. If you have a beautiful candidate and that candidate cannot effectively benefit from the peace of his people, there's no candidacy there. For example, what we have right now in Arujugu, if there's an event, the soldiers and policemen will feel everywhere, intimidating people. They will be arresting those they think they may cause trouble. In fact, sometimes we are even told that they go to plant drugs. The NDLE, I confronted the head of the NDLE in Arujugu, and I said, we have information that you go and plant drugs to some people in order to take them away from the system because they don't align with your direction. And he told me, whoever you see coming from to do drug practice here, I don't know about it. She's coming from the state. She better go and ask the state commander. I quickly called the state commander, Mr. Amos. I said, look at what we're saying. This is unfortunate. So anybody, at any time, who will go to utilize power to the extent to which that power is utilized violates the right of the people, they always suffer serious consequences. You know what, Mr. C, just listen to this. You know what happened to Victor Malo? Victor Malo was chief of army staff, and he was full of himself. He went and sent some people to Odi to go and level a village called Odi. Killed people there. Years after, Victor Malo was no more chief of army staff, and there was a problem in his own community called Zakibian. If you remember, Mr.
Oh yes.
And then, who was sent to Zakibiam? The man that was sent to Zakibiam was Major Temipere, whose father was killed in Odi. What did Temipere do? The vicious circle. Temipere got his men to go to Victor Malo's house, demolish Victor Malo's house, and even the aged mother. And the two sons of Victor Malo, who was visiting their aged mother, or their aged grandmother. Look at how Victor Malo ended. Whenever you have power, do not abuse it, because you will not be there forever. And when you abuse it, the consequences are always very much.
Open Parliament, Middle-Edition, Interpol Systems Consultant and Security Expert, Chikwe Udensi. We'll take a number of your calls, 0816-111-5955 or 0907-103-6625. 1 minute. You've got if you come through. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. C.
Good morning to you.
Good morning, Chikwe Udensi. Good morning, sir. Who say my notice name? I'm calling from Oman.
Welcome. Obrigado. 1 minute.
It's okay. I want to congratulate Chikwe Udensi once again for being the vice president of the world private security outfit to me, because it's an international outfit that he contacted with they have over 100 and something countries, and he became the vice president. It's a good way to go, sir. I pray that God will continue to read you and use you to do wonderful work in Nigeria and the United States, particularly. Then let me talk on the issue of this protest. To me, I still believe that Tinubu is not the sole problem of Nigeria in this case. He removed fuel subsidy, unfortunately, it affected us negatively. But governors are the family problems of this country today. My brother that was sacked in Ministry of Sports wasn't Tinubu that sacked him. The directors that we are on duty retired, what they have policies that allow them to stay at 5 years in service, wasn't Tinubu. All this food, Tinubu has been given 2 billion naira for us to governor.
Thank you.
I don't know what happened to Abia. So our governor should be blamed.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. 1 minute. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Singh.
Good morning to you.
Good morning, Chikwe Udensi. Good morning, sir. And let me use this opportunity to congratulate you, sir. I'm looking forward to the day you become the president. Then we will remove the vice and make you be the president. Sorry. Yes, sir. You're important to the task. Thank you. You see, I agree with you on all your submissions here. But the particular one I disagree is that of governor coming from his country home. That one is, they say, when somebody wants to do something, he makes a subterfuge. I believe that is a subterfuge. If other governors were able to use government house, some people, because of for certain reasons, come into their house and stay in that very house and complete it when there is emergency. This is an emergency situation. He's the governor of the state. He should find somewhere that won't be there, stay there, and then make sure that everything is done. Not coming for his hand and to stay on his new state.
Thank you.
I think the maritime place that the government has.
Thank you.
And this idea of demolition, I disagree with. If he wants to build a new government house, let him go ahead and build whatever he wants to build.
Thank you.
Let him leave up this one to other ones, because some people don't have offices.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We appreciate your take. We have another caller here. Hello, good morning.
Hello, Mr. T. Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Yeah, my boss, Chikwe Udensi. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, congratulations for winning the World Chief Security Officer. Irrespective of our security in Nigeria, they still find you worthy to give you such position, irrespective of our security. So congratulations for that. Things I want to say about this protest. We have to support this protest because the day of the inauguration speech of Tinubu, he lied to us that subsidy has been removed. Why does this subsiding our fuel to 1.5 billion every month? They even said all the business that used to go on in oil sector, they are still doing it 100%. So what is the need? So if at all this protest will touch them, for them to revive this subsidy, fine, and for them to open fine. If you can touch them, because I know that most of them are ingrate, they're heartless. I'm a politician, but I'm not with them. I'm a godly politician. Most of them are heartless. So to look at what you said now, the kind of allowance they do, just give me one of the newspaper allowance. I will wait for what you have.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much for your take. I would have to let you go. Just one last call and then we call it a wrap. Hello, good morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, Chikwe Udensi. Good morning, sir. Let me say congratulations to you for winning, which is for us very, very interesting. We will also come into the race as the next governor of Abia State. We will definitely make you the governor because
Hello? Oh, well, I think we lost the call right there. Well, we have to get back to our guest for summation. What's the reaction of the callers?
Thank you, Mr. C. When we came out of the conference, in Switzerland, one of the gentlemen asked me a question that rattled me. He said, yes, right now you are the vice president of this world body, and this position as the vice president of this world body is a very important one. But there seems to be too much of insecurity in your own country. How can you be the vice president of a place like this, and there's so much insecurity in your country, and you're not contributing? He challenged me. He doesn't understand what is happening in Nigeria. He doesn't understand that I'm not in government. He does not understand that when we keep advising government, government does not listen. He does not understand that we have a very corrupt government. From local government to federal government, they are so corrupt that they will prefer to use the monies meant for security for whatever private deals. He doesn't understand that we have an arrangement in a country where the government can spend 5 billion to buy a yacht, whereas the people cannot even protect themselves with the basic security tools. He doesn't seem to understand that we have a country where a government is spending, even when the government has several fleets of aircraft, they can still spend $150 million to buy a new one in a very hungry, unprotected, very, very security ruined economy, ruined society, ruined environment. He doesn't seem to understand that. And I feel so ashamed. I feel so sad about it. The vice president of ISA can look at the insecurity in my country, and they can't even take our advice. They can't take our opinion. They can't take our recommendation to make this place a better place for everybody. I feel so sad about it.
Yeah. Well, we are definitely out of time. We would have gone for more, but we can't let you go without. We had Madame's celebration. Her birthday was over the weekend. I'm sure you had time to celebrate with her. If you can say in some 30 seconds.
Yes, I hardly came back to celebrate with my beloved wife. She was 18 years, so we had to celebrate with her. A woman cannot go to everything. So we celebrated with her. She deserves a lot of celebration. She's a beacon of the house, and she's a very lovely mother.
Thank you very much, Sir Chikwe Udensi, for coming through on Open Parliament this morning.
Thank you very much for always having me, Mr. C.
Well, the size of a package in the program. Thanks, listener. We'll do it again, same time, same station next week. My name is Mr. C.
Fashion industry. Ethnocentric Limited, in partnership with the Mastercard Foundation.